You get my email?
I didn't.
You did or didn't?
I did not.
I'll be in there.
Okay, thank you.
Judge Morrow,
Yes.
it's ASG Mitchell. I just want to let you know we will need a for position 19.
Breakout for position 19. Is that what you said, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, I just wanted to let you know that I am currently, sorry, my video is not working.
Okay.
I'll figure that out in a minute, but I'm currently speaking with position 3 on the calendar and position 20 on the calendar, I believe is in medical, and we have not had the chance to speak with her either.
Okay, thank you. Hey, how you doing today?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Are we ready to get started?
Yes, sir. Sub Annex is ready.
Okay, who do we have?
We have position 21, Ms. Simmons.
And who's representing Ms. Simmons today? Got you, Ms. Kim? Oh, Ms. McLeod, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Simmons. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Simmons, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002945C with battery family violence. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we're going to be recommending a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with so this is a co-defendant case with, I believe, position 3, Marshall Banks. So no further contact with the co-defendant. A stay away from address 1592 Harvard Avenue, apartment 4, College Park, Georgia, depending on whose home that is, because they both live together. A third-party transfer of the children, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered the father of her children, Mr. Marshall Banks, by pushing and shoving him into a wall, leaving visible marks and scratches on his arms. Mr. Banks states that Miss Simmons accused him of cheating and he just wanted to come home to change clothes for work. He also states that when he was trying to leave the apartment, Miss Simmons blocked him from leaving by pushing him into the wall, leaving said hole into the wall. Mr. Banks also tried to exit from another door, but Miss Simmons blocked him from being able to exit again. Had there not been conflicting allegations in this situation, this would have been a felony, but Miss Simmons told officers that Mr. Banks punched her on the left side of the face. So as a result, we are going to recommend a $3,000 surety in this case, and I believe it will be the same for Mr. Banks' case as well. As far as history, Ms. Simmons, she has one FTA that brings concerns for her being a flight risk, but outside of that, I believe there's nothing else.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. She has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She has never been arrested before. She is the mother of a 6-year-old son that she shares with the co-defendant. She alleges that the co-defendant attacked her and he snatched her cell phone. She had been trying to call 911. She tried to call from her Apple phone but was unable to because he had her phone and had actually turned off the phone. So she was unable to contact the police. She is the victim in this case, Your Honor. She and the co-defendant have been in a relationship for some time, since 2014. She tells me that she's not afraid of him or anything, and they do share a 6-year-old child that they have been co-parenting for some time. Both of their names are on the lease. She has told me that what she would like is for there to be a no further violent contact between them, Your Honor, and considering the longevity of the relationship between them and the fact that they share a child, I do not think that that is an unreasonable condition to be placed on her bond. But I think she's definitely a good candidate for a signature bond, Your Honor, and that the court should consider granting her that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Mr. Banks, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position number 16, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, would you like to hear position 2? He's the co-defendant for Ms. Simmons.
I'm not sure where he is in the lineup, Ms. Sorry. So if I'll just take him in turn, and I think that I'll be able to remember those facts. But you can, when he comes before me, if there's something that you need to fill me in on, I'm happy to hear it. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell me again, where are we? Who do we have?
Position number 16, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Corvido Diaz. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 22 CR 002943Y with battery and simple battery. Is your history, Mr. Howard?
This is what number?
Position 16. I'm sorry. Ms. Diaz, you have been charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, failure to maintain lane, and failure to obey a stop sign. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. Last arrest was back in March. Hit and run, DUI. That's open in state court. 22 CR 001321C. That's it.
Who's presenting for the state?
Your Honor, I'm contacting Miss McCutcheon to see where she is. I believe she was taking care of this case. We may need to come back to that because I don't see her on the.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. I'm sorry, courtroom 2. Can we go to someone else until we can proceed with Ms. Diaz?
You can go to courtroom 2, Your Honor. It's out there next.
Okay, who do we have?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. I have position 17, Ragland.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Ragland. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Ragland, you have been charged in case 22 CR 002943Y with battery and simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest. A resident of Macon, Georgia.
Your Honor, Ms. McCutcheon is logging on right now, and she also has this position. So 16, 17, oh, there she is.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. McCutcheon. How are you?
Good afternoon, good afternoon, Judge Morrow. I apologize. I was doing something else. I apologize. Multitasking, Judge, and I lost track of the time. We're on which position, Your Honor, now?
Position 17, Ms. Ragland, charged with
Okay.
battery and simple battery.
Yes, Judge. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, for Ms. Ragland is charged with battery and simple battery. This is an incident, Your Honor, where the state would expect the evidence to show it occurred on May the 15th of this year in Johns Creek, Fulton County, Georgia, at 10305 Metlock Bridge Road, Unit A6, which is the location of the Bliss Bar and Lounge. The allegation is that the defendant struck the victim, Carlos Hayes, with her shoe. The victim sustained a visible injury that the responding officer observed. The defendant does not have any prior arrest, Judge. For a bond recommendation, the state is recommending that the court issue a $2,500 good bond as to the battery and a $1,500 good bond as to the simple battery, that the defendant have no contact whatsoever with the victim, Carlos Hayes, that she not return to the Bliss Bar and Lounge at the incident location, as I informed the court, that she have no weapons and possess no alcohol or drugs while on bond.
Have you spoken with your office spoken with Mr. Hayes?
Judge, other than the responding officer's first conversation with the victim, our advocate was not able to get in touch with the victim today.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 48 years old. As the prosecution has stated, this is her first arrest. She's never been in any trouble. She does have a bachelor's degree in healthcare management and works in a medical office in Macon. She is the mother of 2 adult children and 4 grandchildren. Your Honor, this was a random situation. My client was out celebrating with some family members and friends in this particular location, and she thought that her boyfriend was being attacked by this person, and she had a little bit too much to drink, and she hit him with her shoe. This is essentially what happened. He's a stranger to her, Your Honor. It was just one of those incidents. I think she's a good candidate for signature bond, Your Honor, given her history, the circumstances, and the fact that there's unlikely to be any further contact between herself and the alleged victim. Therefore, I would ask the court to consider giving her a signature bond.
Okay. For each of the charges, it's going to be a $1,500 signature bond through the jail, which makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Hayes. Stay away from the Bliss Bar and Lounge located at 10305 Medlock Bridge, A6. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Ragland.
Your Honor, I apologize. Did the court say no contact with Carlos Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Do you want to go back to position 16, Your Honor, here in South Annex?
Okay, let's do that. This was
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Crivardo Diaz. I'll just start from the top. Ms. Diaz, again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002941C with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, failure to maintain lane, and failure to obey a stop sign. I believe that this is your second arrest and that there's an open hit and run and DUI in Fulton County. Ms. McCutcheon?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant, this incident, the state would expect the evidence to show it occurred on or about May the 15th of this year in Roswell, Fulton County, Georgia, at Holcomb Bridge and Elkins Road. The defendant was observed failing to maintain her lane, failing to obey a stop sign, and almost hitting a guardrail before the officer initiated a traffic stop, determined that she was under the influence of alcohol and less safe to drive. The defendant does, as the court stated, have a pending March 10th, 2022 arrest where she is charged with DUI, following too closely, and hit and run. That case number is 22 CR 001321C. As the court can see, that incident occurred only a few months before this one, actually 2 months ago, Judge. In light of that, the state's recommendation as to bond, the defendant currently is on bond in the amount of $2,000 for the DUI and $500 as to the underlying traffic offenses in that case. The state is asking the court respectfully to make the bond in this case at least twice what the bond is in the March case, since that only occurred 2 months prior. Therefore, the state is recommending a $4,000 bond as to the DUI less safe, a $1,000 bond as to the failure to maintain lane, and a $1,000 bond as to the failure to obey stop sign, for a total $6,000 good bond, with the conditions that the defendant is not to drive while she's on bond pendency the resolution of these cases. She is submit to random screens to detect the presence of drugs and or alcohol in her system, and also that she be ordered to undergo an alcohol and drug evaluation while she's on bond for the instant case.
Yes,
Thank you,
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Ms. Kim, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. She is only 21 years old and she has been here in Georgia for 5 years. And she is a second year at Kennesaw University studying psychology and criminology. And she has graduated from high school successfully. She does not have a job. However, she has odd jobs like taking care of dogs for neighbors and getting some cash from that. We would like to request for, we understand because of the recent open case, however, still it's presumed to be innocent, and we would like to request for $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, for the DUI, it's going to be a $4,000 good bond. For each of the other two charges, it's going to be a $500 good bond. So it's a total of a $5,000 good bond. No driving while out on bond, except for if she needs to go to and from work. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, Judge, I'll have a quick question about Mr. Mcrae, Bryant Mcrae. He's on our pull sheet, but he's not on our calendar, so I'm trying to make sure.
Okay, does anyone know about Mr. Mcrae? Whose client is Mr. Mcrae? Do we know?
You talking about Murray?
Yes.
She
First name Bryant.
yes. You
That is my client.
Yeah, he's not on our calendar, so I'm just trying to make sure that he's.
Okay, I don't have him on my calendar either. Were you expecting him to go forward today, Ms. Kim?
No, I was not actually because he's not in the calendar anymore.
Okay.
Well, I actually spoke with him.
Oh, I'm
Oh, you
sorry,
did?
Ms. McLeod. Yeah, is this your client, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, and I
Okay.
spoke with him.
And you have spoken with him?
I have, Your Honor.
And has the state spoken, is the state prepared to go for, I don't have him on my calendar, so I don't know if the state's ready to proceed or what's going on.
Are we
So-
speaking about Bryant Murray?
Yeah, Bryant Mcrae.
Murray.
Murray, yes. I have spoken with Mr. Murray. I was under the impression that I would be representing him today, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, if he's not on the calendar and he's not on the pull sheet and the state's not ready to proceed with him today, is there going to be a Riverside issue? Do we know, Ms. McCutcheon?
Judge, I'm not familiar with that case. If I can have the booking number and I'll look that one up, Judge. It was not on our
Okay.
list of cases today, but I'll look it up on the jail screen.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like me to give it to you, the number?
Yes, if you could, counsel, if you can give me the booking number, thank you.
It's 220-7123.
220-7123, thank you.
Yes.
Well, he
Okay.
got an armed robbery charge with that, so it may have taken all of the felony.
I'll look into it and I'll report back to the court.
Okay,
Thank you.
We
Thank you,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Tucson. Mhm.
And courtroom two, so we'll get back with you when we know something further, okay? Who do we have next?
Next, we have position 6, Jarade.
You talking about Gerard?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gerard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 22 CR 002947Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The third arrest. She had one arrest out of Florida, 97 for battery. It was dismissed. Last arrest in Georgia, 2009, suspended license dismissed. That's it.
Okay. So is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed.
Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to Inn Suites located at 1175 Hembry Road in Roswell regarding a physical dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the victim, whose name is Michael Delcamp, and Delcamp is spelled Delcamp. He informed the officers that he wanted his violent girlfriend removed from his room. The victim also explained to officers that he and the defendant had been arguing over her not working and something going on with a neighbor. And that's when the defendant scratched him on his arm And when he tried to hold her back, she bit him. So the victim did sustain injuries in this case. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, a stay away, and 1-day anger awareness course. Nothing further.
And I'm sorry, tell me again, who is Mr. Delcamp to Ms. Gerard?
They are boyfriend and girlfriend, but they have been living together for a period of time.
And has your office spoken with Mr. Delcamp?
I will look into that.
Okay, I'll just come back to you, Ms. Hurd. Is this your case, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Miss Gerald. She is 44 years old and she has been here in Georgia about 6 years. She has 2 children. They're all grown up, 23, 25. Right now, she's not employed. Ever since she had about 6 months ago, she had a COVID positive and she could not work for a couple months because of her sickness. So but even though she tried to come back to work, the job was not available anymore. And she has an 11th grade of high school education. And we would like to request for signature on bond as pretrial service or is recommended for signature on bond. So she is qualified and we would like you to consider her unemployment at this point. Thank you.
Does she live with Mr. Delcamp?
Yes, I believe it is in her name, the lease. The way I understand is this is hotel, if I remember correctly.
Right. Does she have anything at that hotel that she needs to get?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Can I say something? Raise your hand.
All right, so it's gonna be, your client has her hand up, Ms. Kim.
Ms. Gerald, I strongly recommend you to stay silent. You have every right to stay silent. If you have any questions, please call me.
Was your question in regard to going back to that Inn Suites? I think that's when she raised her hand when I mentioned that. Do you have, will you ask her if she needs to go back there, Ms. Kim?
Do you have to go there, Ms. Gerald?
I do. I just wrecked my car not too long ago, so I don't have anywhere to go or a car.
Okay.
But all my stuff is in the room.
Okay.
Okay, so she'll be able to go back there to retrieve her belongings with law enforcement, Ms. Kim. So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial 1-day anger awareness class. At this point in time, since no one's spoken with Mr. Delcamp, no further contact with Mr. Delcamp, but I'm happy to modify that if somebody does speak with him and if he wants contact, stay away from the Inn Suites. She can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she may have there, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gerard.
Next, we have position 11, Massey.
Good afternoon, Ms. Massey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Massey, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002940D with traffic laws that apply to bicycles on a roadway and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a third arrest. Last was February 2021 for a freight. That was a conviction. She's on probation for that in Cobb County. She has a carb hold, by the way, probation. January 2020, a freight. That one was dismissed. That's it.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Segura.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, it occurred on May the 15th, 2022 at 3380 Peachtree Road, Atlanta. In this particular incident, police assaulted the defendant and a companion driving electric scooters across the driveway of the incident location in a strange manner during heavy traffic, and they were moving in both directions without using the sidewalk or looking at any traffic control device. Therefore, they're causing a traffic hazard. Alongside, the police tried to arrest the male companion who was with the defendant, The defendant hindered police apprehension by grabbing the companion's arms and making it difficult for the police to actually arrest the suspects. The state is asking for $2,000 surety bond, $500 for the bike, and bond, and $1,500 for the obstruction, with the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. She is 19 years old, Your Honor, and she's been here in Georgia all her life. Her mother is here, her father passed away, and she does not have a job at this point. She is enrolled in Albany State University for business study. We would like to ask for signature on bond because of her financial condition as a student, and also she has a Cobb County hold. Anyway, she gets out of here, she has to go to Cobb County to take care of another matter. So we would like to request for signature on bond. Thank you.
Okay, for the traffic laws, it's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the obstruction, a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Massey.
Thank you. Next, we have position 12, Mcrae.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mcrae. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Mcrae, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002939F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
And Mr. Segura?
Incident occurred on May the 15th, 2022 at 1303 Angel Falls Lane, Southwest Atlanta. In this incident, the defendant hit a Mr. Montavious Curry, Montavious spelled Montavious, Corey, Corry, with a ball fist in the chest area at one time. He turned to restrain her, but she ended up hitting him in the chest after a verbal dispute. The state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away for the instant location, and no further contact with Montavious Curry. Foundations are based on these facts, and it's because we were not able to make contact with Mr. Curry, and so we have no idea what his condition is as of right now. So for his safety, we would like to stay away and to no further contact. Thank you.
Do you know what the relationship is, Mr. Segura?
I don't, but it seems like the
I'm sorry, Mr. Segura, go ahead.
I think the PD might be able to explain this.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, I was told that they are fiancé, they are engaged, and they live together, and yet the home address is actually, my client is the one who has a lease on it, so I think he should get out of the house. And she has been here in Georgia ever since 1996. She has 2 children, 2.5 years old and 1 year old, 2 daughters. They're very young. And she has been a stay-at-home mom ever since she had a 1-year-old baby. She is trying to get back to work, and yet having a baby takes a lot of energy and time. She has been here. She graduated from Georgia State University, business in hospitality. And we would like to request for signature on bond, as this is her first arrest.
Have you tried to get in touch with Mr. Corey, Ms. Kim?
No. May she go with a law enforcement officer, and then if he moves out, she can go back to her place?
Okay, if that's what you're requesting, Ms. Kim. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Corey, at least until someone speaks with him regarding his desire for contact. Stay away from the 1303 Angel Lane address. She can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. If Mr. Corey decides to move out of the residence, then she's allowed to go back there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Mcrae.
Position 3, Your Honor, Beeland, South Annex.
We're not done over here in courtroom 2, South Annex. Come on. Position 13.
And this is, can you pronounce your last name for me, ma'am?
Mironov,
Say it again for me.
Mironov.
Mironov. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002938A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a 10th arrest. Hold on. I got an August 2021 DUI. Hold on. Also see a history out of Texas. Hold on. Last arrest in Texas was 2003. Criminal mischief. So that's pretty much it. She just has the open case in state court.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Segura?
Incident occurred on May the 15th, 2022 at 760 Falling Walks Court, Roswell. On this particular date, the police made contact with a Mr. James Keller, who is the victim in this case. James, common spelling Keller, K-E-L-L-E-R-R. Mr. Keller told the police that his longtime girlfriend and roommate, the defendant, is an alcoholic and she had consumed alcohol at this date. And he also noted that she becomes verbally abusive. In the past, at most recent 8 months prior to that date, the actions had escalated to the point where there was some physical violence against him by the defendant. And Mr. Keller advised that the defendant looked through his phone the previous night and then confronted him, starting an argument on 15th. At that point, there was an argument about cheating, and at which point the police needed to arrive at the location. At that point, both parties, the defendant and Mr. Keller, refused to leave the premises, but decided to remain separate in the residence for the evening. When police were about to leave, at that time, Mr. Keller was yelling and was asking to get the police back. At that point, the defendant continued to yell, and when the police encountered Mr. Keller again, apparently the defendant grabbed him in some sort of bell hug, and she led to the point as she grasped him on his upper chest, there was some red markings and some visible injuries on his right bicep, which was observed by the police and other police who were still with him. With the state of recommending a $3,000 surety bond, one-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Stay away from the 760 Falling Walks Court, Roswell. No further contact with James Keller, and one-time law enforcement to retrieve for belongings. We actually made contact with Mr. Keller twice, and the first call, he said that he and the defendant own relationship and both live together and have no children. But he says he wants no contact, wants to have a stay away, and a one-time law enforcement to retrieve for belongings. Alongside, he also stated that it's not the first time this has happened, and that he had a restraining order against her from 2020 from Gwinnett County. And the second time, he also called again, this time saying that he changes his mind and states that he has no bonding contact and he's okay with her going back to the residence. At the same time, we know that relationships can be complex and that sometimes victims in these sorts of relationships can flip back and forth. But I want to make a point that Mr. Keller is 60, and this incident only occurred yesterday at 8:53 p.m. So there's not a long enough cooling off period. Alongside, based on what Mr. Keller said, there was a restraining order from 2020. So for his safety, we would like to have the surety bond as well as the stay away. Thank you.
What was the amount of the surety that you requested, Mr. Segura?
3,000.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Mironov, she is 51 years old, and they don't have any children. She has been here in Georgia for more than 14 years, and their boyfriend and girlfriend, they have lived together about 4 years. Actually, the home address is in his name, so she's not on their name. And right now she's employed. She works as a salesperson at Lexus, and she graduated from high school. So we would like to request for signature on bond because the open case has nothing to do with simple battery. It was DUI, and she does not have any violent history. So we would like to request for signature on bond.
Okay, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the 760 address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
That was a good bond, Judge?
It was, yes.
Position number 3, Your Honor, South Annex, Beelan.
Good afternoon, Ms. Beelan. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002950J with disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a third adult arrest. Last was 2016 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. 2016 shoplifting. It was admitted to to disorderly conduct conviction. That's it. The juvie arrest come out of the state of Texas.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes.
Oh, good afternoon, Judge. I'm sorry to interrupt. My name is Attorney Jenna Lee. I was just retained by Ms. Beelan. I was able to speak with her briefly, but I haven't spoken with her since I was retained this morning. So we wondered if we could get a break so I could speak to her before we move forward.
Okay, that's fine, Ms. Lee. Good afternoon. We can go back to courtroom 2. I'll put you into a breakout room with the South Annex, and when you've spoken with her, we will proceed, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And if we could put the South Annex and Ms. Lee into a breakout room, please.
Your Honor, that was my only case on the calendar. Can I please be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good to see you, as always.
Yeah.
Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 18, Rains.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thomas Florio for Mr. Rains.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Good. Good afternoon, Mr. Rains. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute, courtroom 2.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Rains. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002934G with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, reckless driving, and possession of open alcohol container. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, first arrest.
Ms. McCutcheon, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is. The state would expect the evidence to show that on or about May the 15th of this year in Roswell, Fulton County, Georgia, the defendant, Mr. Rains, was observed failing to maintain his lane, crossing over into the center turn lane on Alpharetta Highway. The officer made a traffic stop, determined that the defendant was under the influence of alcohol and less safe to drive. The defendant has no priors, Judge. The state would recommend on the DUI that the bond be a $2,000 good bond, that on the reckless driving, the bond be a $1,000 good bond, and on the possession of open container, the beer containers, that the defendant be issued a $500 good bond for a total of $3,500. That while on bond, he is to consume no alcohol, possess no drugs and no weapons, and no driving unless the defendant has a valid license to do so.
Okay. Mr. Florio?
Yes, sir, Judge. Judge, as Ms. McCutcheon said, Mr. Raines has no prior criminal history. This is his first and only arrest in life. He's 31 years old. He was a 4-year football letterman at the University of Alabama, where he is a graduate of the University of Alabama with a degree in business administration with a concentration in finance. He's employed by Strategic Real Estate Partners, which is located on Northside Drive in Atlanta, where he's a project development manager. He lives in the city of Milton. He was on his way home, Judge, from a Braves game. That's why he appears before the court in a Braves shirt, as he had been out at a Braves game earlier in the day. This is obviously a first arrest in life, first DUI in life. He has nothing else. We would ask for an unsecured judicial release based upon his lack of criminal history, and this being his only contact with the law in his entire life. He lives here, he's employed here, has family here. And so that would be the request of the defense, Your Honor.
Okay.
And just if I could, and I know Ms. McCutcheon, it's probably something standard she asked, he has a valid driver's license. There's no encumbrances on his driver's license.
And Your Honor, I only said that because I was not aware as to any administrative license suspension procedures. This was a refusal, so I was not aware at this point as to the disposition of that, if any.
Okay. It's going for the DUI, it's $1,000 good. For each of the other charges, it's $250 good, making for a total of a $1,500 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and as long as he can drive, as long as there are no restrictions on his driving. Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court this afternoon. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well, Your Honor.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
Position 15, Farham.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parham. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Parham, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002937H with theft of services. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
He went to felony, so my coworker has that file. I defer to the state, unless you want me to go get it.
Mr. Segura, do you have his history?
He has total 7 cycles. As for the felonies, only listed the one that's holding him as of right now.
Which is what? What is that?
Fleeing attempted of driving, fleeing attempted from police, possession of a firearm or knife during a commission or attempted commission of a felony, and possession of a sawed-off shotgun and an attempt of a felony as well.
Okay, thank you. And what are the facts of this case?
This occurred on March the 20th, 2022 at a restaurant called The Yummy Place, located at 1220 Caroline Street, Northeast Atlanta. In this incident, police were dispatched to this location because they were concerned, and they made contact with the owner named Mr. Cadet, spelled C-A-D-E-T. Stated that he was serving both the defendant and his, I believe, was a date or a female companion. At that point, the defendant and his companion complained about their food and wanted to send some of the food back. They tried to send more food back, but Mr. Gettet told them he couldn't take it off their bill, and even his manager told him so. At that point, they got up and left without paying the amount of $119.96. At this point, cameras were able to record everything. Because of this, for the charge of theft of service, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Let's stay away from the Yummy Place, located at the 1220 Caroline Street, Northeast Atlanta. And that'll be it. Allegations are based on his facts, first because it's open cases, and the concern that he could be a danger to communities he's released to only. And we noted that part of his history includes the 2016 being in eluding police. So we can tell that he has history about kind of staying away from law justice. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes.
Judge, real quick, his felony bond was $45,000. FYI.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 23 years old and he has been here in Georgia all his life. He has a one child coming up soon. The baby is on the way. He has his siblings, 3 brothers and 4 sisters. He's self-employed. He has his own transportation company ever since 2018. He is just really, really here in Georgia, not a flight risk. Besides $45,000 bond, Your Honor, please give him a signature on bond for theft of services. Thank you.
Okay, it's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Caroline Street address or Caroline Street address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Parham.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position,
Go ahead.
position 3, Ms. Beelan.
Okay, are we ready, Ms. Lee?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I think that I'd already gone through the preliminaries with Ms. Beelan. Ms. Beelan, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002950J with disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third adult arrest. Last was 2016 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. 2016 shoplifting. It was amended to disorderly conduct conviction.
Okay. Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. This case is a cross-defendant case with position 10. Officers were dispatched to 775 Juniper Street, Northeast in Atlanta, regarding a physical dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the defendant, who stated she and the cross-defendant, whose name is Saron Lee, that's Ceron Lee, Lee. The defendant stated that they were in an argument over a video she found on the cross-defendant's phone with him and another woman. The defendant stated that the cross-defendant began to get aggressive, started yelling, and then pinned her down on the bed, causing scratches to her neck. The cross-defendant, Mr. Lee, he accused the defendant of being the initial aggressor after finding the video. He stated to officers that the defendant grabbed his face and caused his dentures to pop out of his mouth. And he did have those dentures in his hand when officers arrived. Your Honor, this is a dual arrest. The state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond on this case, no contact with the cross-defendant, a stay away, and a 1-day anger awareness course. Your Honor, the defendant and the victim do have a history of violence. There was a no contact order put in place for an ag assault, strangulation, battery, family violence, and false imprisonment case where the defendant, she was the victim in this case. And that case number is 22 SC 181798. So we are asking the court to implement a no contact order as one was implemented already. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Beelan is a 25-year-old young lady. She works night shifts at least 4 days a week to make payments to her condo. She lives and works in Atlanta, and the incident happened at her place. So she's the only one to lease. She's the only one that pays rent. And we do respectfully ask that we get a signature bond because she does have rent due next week, and her teeth was chipped. So she has to get her teeth fixed as well. So we do respectfully request that.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Mr. Lee, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that was my only case. May I be dismissed?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you all for South Annex as well, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, who do we have courtroom 2?
Position 1, Mr. Avery.
Good afternoon, Mr. Avery. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 22 CR 0029551A with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third degree. Does he have a history, Mr. Howard?
His third arrest. Last was 2016 DUI. It was NOD. For that, another 2016 arrest for DUI. That's all.
Okay. Ms. Sawyer?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 1428 DuPoint, that's DUPOINT Common Circle in Atlanta regarding a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the caller who stated she heard screaming and yelling coming from her neighbor's house, so she called police. She stated that she saw the victim kicked outside of the house and observed injuries to the victim. The victim's name is Bailey, Bailey. Last name is Boulemzaoud. The victim stated that the defendant grabbed her by the hair and her arm and dragged her around the house. She did sustain injuries from this incident, and this incident took place in front of her child, who she shares with the defendant, whose initials are AB. The state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond. That's $3,000 on the battery, family violence, and $1,000 for the cruelty, with conditions of no contact with the victims, a stay away, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Evans is 35 years old, and their child is 18 months years old. As he claims that he's the only caregiver at this point for that baby right now. And he has been working as paramedic about 14 years, and he has had real estate license for about 15 years. However, he has been active for last couple of years. He also has a vocational bachelor's degree in paramedicine, and his previous history is all about DUI, and there was no violence history at all. So we would like to request for signature on bond, Your Honor, so he can take care of the baby.
Okay. For the battery, it's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the cruelty, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the DuPont Circle address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. And there will be a third-party transfer of the child for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Averin, I strongly recommend you to stay silent.
Okay.
Mr. Banks? Next, we have position 2, Banks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Banks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Banks, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002944C with battery, family violence, and hindering a person making an emergency telephone call. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was 2018, suspended license. Before that was 2015, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. 4 counts of that. Obstruction, driving without a valid license, hit and run. Has history out of the state of Florida. 2013, possession of controlled substance. Possession of marijuana from 2011, and another 2011 marijuana possession. And the 2011, with the marijuana, it was a disorderly conduct brawling. That's what it said. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor, this is the case that is a cross defendant to position 21. And briefly, those facts were officers responded to the incident location 1592 Harvard Avenue in Atlanta regarding a physical dispute. The cross defendant told officers that the defendant punched her. And then this defendant told officers that the cross defendant was the initial aggressor and pushed him into a wall and caused a hole. Both parties sustained injuries and both were arrested. The state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the cross defendant, a stay away, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm sorry, also the hindering 911 came from the defendant's admission to officers. He admitted to taking the cross defendant's cell phone, so she couldn't call police. Nothing further.
And Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Bank is 32 years old and they do not live together, actually, Your Honor. And the address that incident happened is old address. He has a new address, and he claims a fiance relationship. He's been here in Georgia for more than 10 years. He has one child with complaining witness, Ashley, 6 years old, and his parents are all deceased. He has been working as a cashier at BP gas station for the last 8 years. He graduated from high school. He went to college in Florida to be an elementary education teacher. He is actually a certified teacher. He does not have any issues in terms of drug or alcohol or mental health. And we would like to recommend for signature on bond, just like the way Ms. Ashley Simmons received today. No further violent contact, since both of them wanted that. No drug, alcohol, and weapon, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the battery, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the hindering a person making an emergency telephone call, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Ms. Simmons, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Banks.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, can we implement never mind, I'm sorry.
Okay. Who do we have next?
Judge Morrow, you said for the second charge, it was $1,000 signature bond through pretrial as well?
Yes, that's
Thank
correct.
you. Next, we have position 9, Mr. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002952F with theft by deception. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Nicholas Johnson?
Position 9, yes.
Yes.
All right, he went to felony earlier. That bond is $15,500. Last arrest was February 2021, probation violation. He's on probation for entering auto, 19 SC 164705. Another entering auto, 18 SC 158023. On probation in the cab for entering auto. On parole for conspiracy to commit a crime. The total arrest is 25. You want more?
That's good. Thank you. Mr. Segura?
This incident occurred on June the 12th, 2021, and the victim's location was at 310 Neil Weed Drive, Roswell. Neil Weed spelled N-E-E-L, Weed R-E-I-D, Drive, Roswell. In this case, the police spoke with the victim, Miss Kristen Riley. Kristen spelled K-R-I-S-T-E-N R-E-N, Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, who stated that she called the police because she made it via report, and she stated she got off the phone with an individual claiming to be a Mr. Deputy Alexander with the federal court. In it, the defendant stated that she had a failure to appear warrant for arrest and she needed to postpone over the phone. But at this point, Ms. Riley asked for the defendant's number and was given a fake phone number by the defendant, at which time, when she checked, it was supposedly registered at the federal court building. At this point, she transferred the money of close to $1,000 from her SunTrust checking account via Zelle money transfer account to the defendant's own Navy Federal Credit Union account, whose name was both linked to the defendant. At that point, police identified that the defendant was the sole account holder of both the Zelle as well as the emails that was linked to that Zelle account in which Ms. Riley sent the money. At that point, Ms. Riley was scammed of $1,000, and because of this, the state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, and weapons, and no further contact with Ms. Kristen Riley. We spoke with Ms. Riley earlier today, which stated that when she was talking to the defendant, he was using the judge's name as part of his scam. Alongside, Ms. Riley stated that she's nervous and afraid of this defendant because she does not know what he is capable of. We're making explanations on these facts, first because the extensive warrants, and we're concerned that he might commit a crime while he is out. For example, 2012 has probation violation. He has FTAs dating from 2015, 2016 parole violation, as well as FTAs in 2019, and a probation violation 2022, as well as a parole violation 2022. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Segura. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Johnson is 30 years old, and he has been here in Georgia all his life. He has 6 children, 11, 9, 4, 2, 1. So they are all minors, and he's expecting another one this coming July. His parents are here. His sister's here. He's not running away, and he has been building truck and repairing truck for the last 10 months. He has a GED. He does not have any drug or alcohol issues, and he has no mental health issues. We would like to request for signature on bond, considering the fact that we have already $15,500 good bond in the felony court. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for $1,000 good bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I was made confirmation that he really has a $1,000 surety bond on him already. So if we didn't have 3,000, we're okay with the 1,000. Thank you.
Okay. $1,000 good bond, stay away, no further contact with Ms. Riley, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, going back to Mr. Bryant Mcrae, did we find anything about him? Because we do have a visitor here in the gallery for him.
Let's see, have we found out anything about Mr. Murray, Ms. McCutcheon?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would respectfully ask that the case be reset until tomorrow. The defendant does have, as a pretrial, Mr. Howard mentioned, he has an armed robbery case. He's in on that case, 19 SC 1700, I believe is the number in that case, Judge. He also has this warrant. This is actually a March 30th, 2022 warrant for pointing a pistol. The defendant has an electronic $5,000 bond for that case. It appears that warrant was issued on March 31st of 2022 for the March 30th, 2022 allegation. However, the defendant was just picked up on that warrant and booked into the jail today at 2 a.m. So I do not believe, about approximately 2 a.m., I do not believe there'll be a Riverside issue, Judge, if we can reset the case for 24 hours until tomorrow's SCA calendar.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McCutcheon. So he's not on our calendar today. He'll be on our calendar tomorrow. So we'll reset it or set it for May 17th.
Thank you, Judge.
Tomorrow's state expedited accusation calendar. Okay, courtroom 2.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no, thank you.
Position 14, Mr. Noel.
Are you all seeking a good bond on this, Mr. Segura?
We are, but we're just asking to the court to retain that $500 surety that was already on this case.
Okay, I was just wondering. Good afternoon, Mr. Noel. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Noel, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002936B with pedestrian in a roadway. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Tell me when to stop. 48 total. Last arrest was June 2021, FTA trespass. September 2020 trespass. 2019 probation violation. 2018 trespass conviction. 2018 failure to appear. 2018 shoplifting. Another 2018 trespass conviction. 2018 felony theft by taking conviction.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. Segura?
This is occurred on May the 15th, 2022 at the Encore Parkway, located at the Encore Parkway intersection between Encore Parkway and Off Point Parkway, Alpharetta. In this incident, police observed the defendant approaching vehicles as they stopped at the red light. At that point, the police advised the defendant to exit the roadway and leave the area, and the defendant at that point did. But when the police returned to the area shortly afterwards, they noticed the defendant was again going into the roads when there was a red light and basically bothering drivers. As such, we're asking the court to retain that $500 surety bond that was already in place, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a stairway for the incident location. Our recommendations are based on these facts, so because his long history, including criminal trespasses, from as Charles noted, from 2010, 2011, 2012, 2014, twice 2015, and 2018, as well as his long FTA. So you're concerned that he could commit a crime while he is out on bond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Noel is 71 years old. And Your Honor, this is my first time ever seeing that anybody is actually arrested for pedestrian in roadway. I really think this is something that can be just regular citation, not like arrest in the jail. We would like to request for signature on bond. He has nobody who can help him right now. He has been retired and he's 71 years old, Your Honor. He's not a homeless. He has a place to go. So I would like to request him to go home, signature on bond.
Your Honor, if I might add on behalf of the state, if counsel wants to try to resolve the case today, the state would make a recommendation of time served. Serve 1 day time, credit time served, and close the case.
May I please talk to Mr. Noel?
Can we get you to call Mr. Noel? Do you have the phone number, Ms. Kim?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so courtroom 2, can we put?
I didn't have the
Mr.
seat over there from Mr. Noel at that chair.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 19, Sam's.
And we needed a breakout. Who represents Mr. Sams?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so
No, they're gonna call you.
let's see. Is there someone we can take besides Mr. Sams? Because we need Ms. Kim for his case.
You can do the conflicts.
Okay, let's, whoever those, thank you. And you go ahead and call Ms. Kim, please.
Who's the conflict in here? Yeah. What's your name? Kay? We have position 5, Mr. Kay.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Cade. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Cade, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002948F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total.
Okay.
Last arrest was 2021, suspended license. Before that was 2013, probation violation, theft by receiving. Yeah, the identity theft fraud, forgery in the third degree, theft by receiving conviction 2012. 2012 probation violation, battery family violence. 2011 probation violation, theft by receiving. 2011 another probation violation. I don't know what that says, burglary. Got a battery and cruise in the third conviction from 2010. 2009 battery no-low. Yeah, the burglary conviction was 08. That's all.
Okay. Ms. McLeod, is this your case? Thank you.
Your Honor, I did not hear his name.
This is position number 5, Mr. Cade.
I don't think so, Your Honor. Mr. Cade, I don't have that name on my list.
Do we know who represents Mr. Cade?
Mr. Cade is a conflict.
Mr. Cade, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar, sir. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Have you spoken with an attorney regarding your case?
I spoke to her later on the phone.
Did you hear my question, Mr. Cade?
Yes, I spoke to a lady on the phone.
Okay, that wasn't my question. My question regarding this case is, have you spoken with a lawyer regarding this matter?
No, sir.
Okay.
We can do the conflict. I apologize. I thought he was a conflict. Position 10, Mr. Lee. Come on, let's switch on.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Lee. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002942J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. Last arrest was back in March. Probation violation. He has an open case in Superior Court for ag assault, false imprisonment. 22 SC 181798. Another open simple battery in state court. On probation, possession of a firearm and ag assault, 17 SC 150627. He should be getting off of probation for that in July. He was arrested in California back in February for battery DV. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Courtroom 2, Miss.
Hold on. Something that caught my eye.
Well, while you do that, still courtroom 2, Miss Kim says that she can't get through. Is there, Miss Kim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, so let's make sure you've got the right phone number in that.
Ms. Kim, it's, are you dialing 404-612-2392?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can try it again.
Okay.
I noticed, you know what? Something's wrong with this phone. Okay, Ms. Kim, something's going on with that phone. It's not coming through. It looks like it's forwarded to somewhere else. You can call the 404-612-2391.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Howard. I've received that in the chat. Mr. Segura?
It's the same case that's with position 3, which we already done, but I'll briefly repeat it. It was occurred on May the 14th, 2022 at 775 Juniper Street, apartment 316, Atlanta. In this instance, police made contact with the victim, Ms. Kanice Baleen. Kanice spelled C-A-N-I-E-C-E, Baleen, B-E-L-I-N, who stated how her boyfriend of 3 years had to leave and that she wanted him out and never to come back. At that point, Ms. Baleen stated that they were arguing over a video which she found in his phone from 2 years ago of the defendant with another female. At that point, the defendant got aggressive, was yelling, and pinned her down on the bed with both hands around her neck, causing scratches to both sides of her neck. At that point, she made a text to her friend to call the police because she did not want the defendant to know that she was calling the police on him. At that point, police arrived and they were able to make an arrest. And at that point, Ms. Baleen stated that she has videos of the argument and the fight and that she was emailed them to the police officers. The state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stairway for the instant location, and no further contact with Kanice Baleen. The agents are based on these facts, as well as because it has a long violent history. Being as Petra has noted, in 2007, he had an aggravated assault, which one of the victims was a past girlfriend. Even though it's different from this victim, we have to acknowledge that they're both girlfriends, one in the past and one in the present, which resulted in violence, as well as because he has an open case against him with the same victim. It was 22 SC 181798 with the same victim, which occurred on August the 23rd, 2021, which he was indicted of aggravated assault strangulation with Ms. Baleen, in which he placed his hands around her neck and applied pressure. And he also had, besides strangulation, he had false imprisonment, battery, family violence, which included bruising, hindering a person making an emergency telephone call, and as well as violating a family violence protective order, in which he stated on 31st he came back and broke it. And concerning this case is less than a year old, he might be violating it again. As such, that's a reasoning for our surety bond. Thank you.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 31 years old. He is the father of a 12-year-old son. And he also tells me that he helps to take care of his mom, who is disabled. He and the cross-defendant, Your Honor, have been in a 3-year relationship. It's undisputed that this relationship between them is somewhat volatile. In this instance, he is a victim, Your Honor, in that the Miss Kadeen, I believe her name is, she attacked him because she became jealous when she saw a video that was on social media showing him dancing with someone else. He is in the entertainment business, Your Honor. He actually tells me that he's officially signed with a label to produce music. She became jealous and she attacked him. She knocked his dentures out and she was the aggressor. I think that seems likely the truth, Your Honor, given the fact that she was also arrested. He did tell me that he asked the police to look at the videos, which he said would definitively show that she was the aggressor and that he did not do any of this. I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond, Your Honor. She was given a signature bond. Yes, he does have some history and they do have history together, but she was given a signature bond and she is going to be out. And he does have his 12-year-old son that he has to take care of. Based on that, Your Honor, I would ask you to consider giving him a signature bond.
Your Honor, if I could emphasize that again, this is the second time the defendant places arms around Ms. Baleen's neck in less than a year. So even though she may be out, we don't want him to make further contact with each other. And based on his history, he has a habit of violating stairways and making contact with each other. So for his safety, even though she is a cross defendant, we still want a surety bond.
Okay, it's gonna be a $3,000 good bond, no further contact with Miss Berlin. Stay away from the 775 Juniper Street address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
And Judge, there's one other thing. He does have some belongings there, and you would like a one-time police escort to go back there to get his belongings?
Okay, he can have a one-time escort with police to retrieve any belongings that he may have there.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, it was a 3,000 good bond, correct?
Yes, that it was.
Thank you.
It is.
Position 14, Mr. Noel. Come on, Mr. Noel. You take 10%.
Okay, so it's my understanding that Mr. Noel wants to plead guilty to pedestrian and a roadway for time served. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna need to get him to fill out the paperwork.
Yes, Judge, who is representing him? I can email that too. Is this a public defender or conflict case?
He's not gonna be represented because they won't represent someone who wants to plead guilty at the SEA calendar. So he's gonna proceed pro se.
Okay, Judge, to which location should I email the documents? And Judge, I checked the booking screen. He was actually booked in 3 days ago. He was booked in on the 14th. So the state would recommend a 12 months served 3 days, credit for the 3 days in custody, balance suspended.
Okay. And did you hear that, Mr. Noel? Is that what you want?
Yes.
And additionally, Your Honor, do not return to the location, which was a location in Alpharetta, Fulton County, Georgia, of Encore Parkway and North Point Highway.
Okay. Courtroom 2, do we have someone that can assist with the paperwork?
Hold on one second, Judge. Yes, Judge, you can send it to Sergeant Schofield.
What is the first name, Deputy?
I believe it's Calvin Schofield.
Is that SCOFIELD?
Oh,
If you can put the email in the chat, I will email the documents to that person.
okay.
Calvin, okay. If you put the last name as well, thank you. And is that Ms. Middlebrooks is the litigation manager today, Judge?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
I'll do that, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. McCutcheon. We appreciate it. Okay, while we wait for that, courtroom 2, can we go to someone else?
Yes, position 22, Thomas. All right, have a seat over there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Thomas, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002954H with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This 10th arrest. Last arrest was 2012. Battery, family violence, it was DWAP. 2009 trespass, NOD. He has history out of New York. Last arrest in New York was 2004. Criminal mischief, 4th degree.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, there's a current bond of $500 surety, and the state's going to request that that bond remain the same with a stay away from MARTA in accordance with any suspensions and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. As Your Honor is aware, the defendant criminally trespassed on MARTA property located at 216 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia, by entering an unauthorized area with keys he never returned after being terminated. He was an employee with MARTA, and he was terminated on March 28th of 2022. And as a result of the termination, he knew he wasn't supposed to be in that unauthorized area that's for employees only, and using employee keys that he failed to return upon termination. Based on that and the fact that he is a convicted felon and who does have a prior arrest for criminal trespass, as heard from pretrial, we are recommending the $500 surety bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 54 years old, and as the pretrial service recommended, I would like to request for unsecured judicial relief as well. The last arrest was 2012, more than 10 years ago, Your Honor. This is criminal trespass. Please give him a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, abide by any more suspensions, no drug, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Thomas.
You got a signature bond. Position 5, Mr. Cade.
And is there someone representing Mr. Cade?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. And good afternoon, Mr. Cade. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the state court. Where were we with Mr. Cade? Is that who you're speaking with, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Cade. Oh, you mean the over the phone?
Yes.
He was Mr. Noel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the plea, Your Honor.
All right. I'll just start from the top. Well, Mr. Cade, this is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002948F for simple battery family violence. Have you already given me the history on this, Mr. Howard?
I thought I did.
Yeah, I think I've got it down here. That's why I was wondering why we were coming back to him. But I've got your history. I think that you've given that to us already. So. Oh, okay, thank you. Ms. Sori?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 213 Fairburn Road in Atlanta regarding a physical dispute. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the victim, whose name is Doris Almond. She stated that she was slapped in the face by the defendant, but did state she did not want to press charges. The defendant told officers that the victim was upset with him for speaking with other females on her phone. We did reach out to the victim and was not able to reach her. As we've heard from pretrial, this defendant does have multiple battery convictions, a simple battery from 2009 and a simple battery family violence from 2010. He also has multiple probation violations. So he is at risk of reoffending and also intimidating this witness victim. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, a stay away, and 1-day anger awareness course. Nothing further.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cade is 31 years old, and the complaining witness and Mr. Cade, they live together, and she is actually a mother of child. They have one child together. Your Honor, all those charges, violence charges are from 2009, more than 13 years ago, and we would like to request for signature on bond. Even the open case is about driving without license and suspended and revoked, totally different from violence case. He has been here in Georgia and he graduated, he has a GED. We would like to request for signature on bond, and yet if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, maximum $1,000 bond, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Cade, I'm going to give you the opportunity to sign yourself out, but if you don't show up for your next court hearing, the bond's going to be revoked, and you'll be right back where you are. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
I'm sorry, Judge, can you please repeat the bond amount?
5,000 signature through the jail.
Thank you. No further violence.
No further violent contact.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have position 4, Mr. Bradbury.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bradbury. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002949C with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
16 total. I'm gonna go out of state first. He got a history in Mississippi, simple assault 2014, 2016 trespass in Tennessee. Last arrest in Georgia was an ag assault conviction from 2020. That's 21 SC 178127. May 2020, he was arrested for battery. That's open in state court. 21 CR 001521C. 2019 ag assault object, that was a conviction. 2018 failure to appear conviction. 2018 failure to appear for trespass and criminal damage to property. 2017 shoplifting conviction. Disorderly conduct conviction from 2017. 2017 trespass conviction. 2017 he was arrested for simple battery, reckless conduct. The reckless was not presented to grand jury. He was convicted for felony terrorist threats, ag assault, and obstruction. That's it.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers were dispatched to a location where the defendant stated he was hit by a female and a male near the actual incident location, which is 4215 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. When the defendant and the officer arrived to the incident location, the three parties began to argue. And when the victim, whose name is Keita, Keita, last name Boutire, when she got close to the defendant, he punched her in the face. Your Honor, as we've heard from pretrial, this defendant does have multiple violent convictions. Even though this is a simple battery charge, he has an ag assault, terroristic threat, and obstruction guilty conviction from 2017, ag assault battery conviction from 2019, ag assault family violence from 2020, which was a guilty conviction. All of those were convictions. And then he has this open battery from 2020. None of the cases are the same victim that we have for today. However, he does present a risk of reoffending, and he is a danger to the community with the number of guilty convictions that he has for felony cases. He's a multi-state offender as well, Your Honor. So the state, there's a current bond of $3,000 surety on his case. The state is recommending a $5,000 cash bond due to his history, or for the bond to remain as set with conditions of stay away and no contact with the victim. Nothing further.
I'm sorry, Ms. Sorry. What is your request for the surety bond?
There's a current surety bond of $3,000. We're asking for a $5,000 cash bond due to his history, or for the bond to remain as set.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Bradbury is 32 years old and he is currently staying at hotel. What he claims is he does not know those complaining witness at all. And he is the one who called the police because he was about to be robbed by those two. And when the police actually arrived, they were lying. He has been here in Georgia almost all his life, and he is a medical assistant at the temporary services. He graduated from high school, and actually I am recommending him for social worker services and behavioral health evaluation tests. We would like to ask for $1,000 maximum surety bond. Thank you.
And Your Honor, just to state to the court, as the warrant is written, the defendant was with the officer when this incident occurred, and he still decided to punch the victim in her face. So he is a danger to the community, and we are asking for that $5,000 cash bond. Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to leave the bond where it is, a $3,000 good bond. There will be a social worker visit. Stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard location. No further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Bradbury.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 7, Hills.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hills. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hills, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002946C with simple battery family violence, 2 counts. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
26 total. Last arrest was January 2021. Ag assault, criminal trespass. 21 CP 197 007. 2017 trespass arrest. 2013 probation violation. 2012 battery conviction. Got an ag assault that was amended to simple assault from 04 conviction. That's it. Everything
Okay.
else is in the 90s.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sori?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 2942 Delmar Lane in Atlanta regarding a physical dispute. When officers arrived, the victim, whose name is Michael Terrence Jackson, he informed officers that he had been hit by the defendant. They are roommates, they live together. And the victim informed officers that the defendant became irate when he came home. And while the victim and another roommate were sitting on the front porch, the defendant called both of them vulgar names and then eventually got in the victim's face and pushed and slapped him several times. And then the defendant grabbed water and threw it on the victim. As we've heard from pre-trial, this defendant does have an open ag assault case from last year. He also had an ag assault that was amended to simple assault from 2004. That was a guilty conviction. A battery in 2012, that's guilty conviction, as well as multiple probation violations and a contempt. So this defendant does present a risk of reoffending, and he is also a danger to the community. The state's recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond. That's $2,000 on each charge due to the defendant's history as well as his open ag assault case. No contact with the victim, a stay away, 1-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 55 years old. He has lived all his life in the Metro Atlanta area. He has a 28-year-old daughter that is his only child. He is currently unemployed, Your Honor. He is trying to get a job, but with his history, it's a bit difficult. He does some housekeeping from time to time, but his income is very low, Your Honor. Therefore, I would like to ask the court to consider giving him as low a bond as possible. He tells me, he denies that he attacked this other gentleman. They actually are not roommates in the real sense of the word. They all live together in a rooming house. So technically, each person is their own person. They are not part of a family. I just wanted the court to understand this distinction in their circumstances. He says that the other gentleman in question is a drug addict and an alcoholic, and he makes up stories when he is angry with other residents, and he says that he's just been the victim of that this time, Your Honor. But as I said, he has a very, very little income. So he would hardly be in a position to make a $4,000 good bond. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting this bond.
Does he have somewhere else he can go, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Okay. So it's going to be $1,000 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Michael Jackson. stay away from the Delmar Lane address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hills.
Position 8, Johns.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johns. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Johns, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0029538 with criminal trespass, simple assault, family violence, and theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
24 total.
Okay.
Last arrest was 2020 probation violation. Underlying charge was theft by taking. Financial transaction card theft, 3 counts. 2017 failed to appear, possession of cocaine. Another FTA 2017 cocaine. 2016 FTA, same thing. 2016 failed to, probation violation for those charges. 2014 armed robbery, it was reduced to theft by taking conviction. He was also convicted for financial transaction card theft, 3 counts. 2014 felony theft by taking conviction. 2012 probation violation, cocaine is the underlying charge. He got about 3 more of those. That's enough, I assume, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Mr. Segura.
The incident occurred on May the 14th, 2022 at the Wingate Apartments, apartment 201, located at 504 Boulevard, Northeast Atlanta. In this incident, police responded to a domestic dispute at the incident location, and upon arrival, they met with a Miss Thursday Hutchinson, Thursday THURSDAY, Hutchinson HUTCHINSON. In regards to the dispute she had with her ex-boyfriend, who is a defendant, Ms. Hutchinson stated that on the incident date at 8 a.m. when she was sleeping, that the defendant entered her residence apartment and woke her up, demanding breakfast and sex. Ms. Hutchinson refused, and she asked the defendant to leave before she called 911, since he is not supposed to be in that location due to multiple 911 calls in the past, who resulted in several criminal trespass warnings issued by police. Ms. Hutchins stated that after she stated this, the defendant became upset, took her cell phone away with the excuse of making a phone call, and at the point he refused to give the phone, and thus was not able to call the police. At that point, the defendant ended up smoking drugs in the bedroom, and Ms. Hutchinson said she feared for her safety after seeing the defendant's very aggressive stance and walked out of the apartment towards the Atlanta Medical Hospital to call the police. When police arrived, they arrested the defendant and noticed that the bedroom door appeared to be taken out of its door hinges. The state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, $1,000 for the criminal trespass, $3,000 for the simple assault, family violence, and $1,000 for the theft by taking. We are also asking for the conditions of 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the incident location, and no further contact with Thursday Hutchinson. Foundations are basic facts, so as because we're concerned that he endangered society and has a risk of reoffending when he is out on bond. For example, he noticed that in 2016 he has a probation violation. He has FTAs dating from 2016 and 17, as well as probation violation again in 2020. So we're concerned of him committing some type of act against the community when he's released. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 37 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He tells me that he has completed the 11th grade and he's working on his GED at this time. He is the father of 2 boys, a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. My client denies the allegations, Your Honor. He says that Thursday is actually a family friend. He and his family, they know her. He says that she has some illnesses, and from time to time, he and his other family members will check on her. He denies that anything happened. He said he was on his way from work and he just stopped by to check on her. He denies that he hit her or took anything from her, Your Honor. He is presently mostly unemployed. He says he does do some lawn care work from time to time. Therefore, he's not in a position to post a bond of any significance, Your Honor. I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting a bond for him, and the fact that there is no familial relationship between the parties.
Your Honor, I would make it a point that at the end of the day, that when it was at that location in which he had a criminal trespass warrants before him, so he was not supposed to be there. And when the police found him, he was, even though he was not charged with smoking drugs, they did find him on him. So he was both at the location when he was not supposed to be there. That'll be all.
Okay, so for the criminal trespass, it's gonna be a $500 good bond. For the simple assault, a $2,000 good bond. For the theft, a $500 good bond. It's gonna be a total of a $3,000 good bond. Stay away from the 504 Boulevard address, no further contact with Ms. Hutchinson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr.
Thank
Johnson.
you.
Next, we have position 19, Sam's.
Okay, this is the case that we need a breakout room for. Who's representing Mr. Sims?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Kim. So Ms. Kim, Ms. Mitchell, anyone else?
And Miss McCutcheon.
McCutcheon? Okay, if you can put us into a breakout room, please. Have we gotten the paperwork on that plea yet?
She sent it over to Sergeant Schofield.
Yes, Judge, I did send it to both Ms. Deputy Schofield and Ms. Middlebrooks.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, which case are we going into the breakout room regarding?
Oh, this is 19.
Okay.
Cloud, no, King. I mean, yeah. But you were 15.
Yes, please. Let's see, Mr. DeVille Winbush, are you on the line? Mr. Winbush, I see you there. This is your opportunity to address the court if you would like to do so. You are not required to address the court. I will take it that if you do not unmute yourself and activate your camera, that you do not wish to speak. Okay, that's fine. Can you put me back in, please? Is it breakout room 1? Yes. Okay. Okay, I've had an opportunity to speak, Mr. Sams, on your case with your lawyer and also with the state regarding the matter. The bond is already set at $5,000 good. We're going to leave the bond there. No further contact with DeVille Winbush. Stay away from Piedmont Park. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Also, Judge, we have a reset for a Faith Scott. I believe that's position number
20.
Yes,
Okay, and we're resetting that for tomorrow, the 17th?
yes, Judge.
Okay. And let's see, are we prepared for this? Aside from the plea, do we have anybody else in courtroom 2 that we need to take care of?
No, the last one is position 14, Mr. Noel. He's
Okay.
ready.
Your Honor, if I can just inquire about Mr. or Ms. Scott, it looks like that person has been in custody according to the calendar since the 14th for 3 days. So we may have an issue, a Riverside issue, unless this reset is at the request of counsel or at the request of the defendant. I would just like the record to show that then, Judge, that the defendant has been in according to the calendar for 3 days. He was booked in on the 14th.
Okay.
And he's not coming before the court at the request of the defendant.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McCutcheon.
He's still working on his plea now, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, while he's working on that paperwork, would you all like to go over the calendar? Since that'll be the last position that we'll need to take care of. So soon as Ms. Bruno Brooks is ready, we'll go over the calendar.
Position number 1 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position number 2 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through pretrial, reset further notice. Position number 3 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial, reset further notice. Position number 4 is a $3,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st, 2022. Position number 5 is a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 6 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through pretrial, reset further notice. Position number 7 is a $2,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position number 8 is a $3,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position number 9 is a $1,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position number 10 is a $3,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position number 11 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position 12, a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial, reset further notice. Position number 13 is a $1,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. We're holding on position 14 for a plea. Position 15 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position 16 is a $5,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position 17 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position 18 is a $1,500 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position 19 is a $5,000 good bond, reset SAP, May 31st. Position 20 is reset to the state expedited calendar, May 17th. Position 21 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through pretrial, reset further notice. Position 22 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice.
Any questions or concerns regarding the calendar?
Good, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Position 14 is ready, Judge.
Thank you.
Have a seat, Mr. Noel.
We still go.
Have a good evening, all.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you. And Courtroom 2, do you have a way to send that to Ms. Middlebrooks?
Who's the Middlebrooks?
Yes, I emailed it.
Give me 30 seconds.
Ms. McCutcheon, was that a baby that I heard in the background?
Oh, Judge, I apologize. I reprimanded Judge, I reprimanded my daughter. I'm at my daughter's house.
I did not mention that to get an apology.
No, Judge, I was so embarrassed. I reprimanded my daughter. My granddaughter is ill, and so I'm here helping my daughter. We're both trying to work from home.
Okay.
I was hoping the court did not hear that.
Is it a boy or a girl?
And she's a girl. She's 1, and she has ear infection. So.
Oh no!
Yes,
oh, no.
yes. So she's home. She's 15 months old.
Okay,
Malia. Her name is
that's
Malia.
wonderful.
Thank you, Judge. I was hoping the court had not heard that. I had my earphones on. And Judge, I apologize also, I was a few minutes late, but of course I thought, oh, I have positions 16, 17, and 18. They're not going to get to me right away. And of course, when Ms. Mitchell called me, right away I thought, but they're women. The judge is going to do them first because they're at the South Annex. So I apologize.
Well,
I was trying to multitask and send emails, so my apologies. Your
I
Honor.
understand. We all do that these days.
Ms. Kim, I know you were representing the defendant. Did you want a copy of the paperwork? Just FYI or?
You're on mute, Ms. Kim.
Okay. That's a yes?
Yes.
All right, I'll forward it to you as well.
Thank you.
I just sent it, Ms. Kim. You should be receiving it momentarily.
Thank you.
So, Your Honor, the court should have the 3-page plea statement, the 1-page verdict form, and the 1-page waiver of counsel and waiver of jury trial.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the 5 pages, yes.
Have we received that?
I received it from Ms. McCutcheon's, not from the deputy.
Okay. So we're still waiting for the paperwork from the deputy.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Well, it's quiet on my end now, Your Honor, because she took the baby to the park. So, yes. Runny nose and all.
Okay, well, it's a nice day for the park.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, I could not join them.
Well, hopefully here in a little while, you'll be able to. Is that your only grandchild?
That's my daughter. I have a son and a daughter. That's my daughter. She's the youngest. That's her baby. And then my son, I have a 12-year-old. My son has a 12-year-old son.
Okay, nice.
But they live in North Carolina.
Okay, what part?
Winston-Salem.
Okay.
My son actually went to school in Greensboro. He went to A&T, and then when he graduated, he moved to Winston-Salem because his grandparents lived there.
Okay. Yeah. My family's from North Carolina, so.
Oh, really? What part?
All around. I grew up in Durham.
Okay, all righty. And I have a niece. I have a niece that went to Duke. So I'm familiar with Durham. Yeah, she graduated from Duke.
Both my brothers went to A&T.
Okay, yeah, my son went there. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So courtroom 2, are we ready with Mr. Noel?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw today that Sunny Hostin did the commencement for a A&T over the weekend.
Oh, did she?
Yes,
Oh.
and she recognized that it was the largest HBCU. And
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either till she
I
said it.
did not know that.
Right. They graduate. I think she said that they graduated 2,000 students in
Wow.
the last
Okay.
class. So.
Righty. I'll have to let my son know that. Mhm.
Yeah. She was very excited about being able to give the address there.
Nice, nice, yes. Judge, I don't know if I've ever told you this while we're waiting, but you remind me, you look a lot like a very good friend of mine who I refer to him as my little brother. He refers to me as his big sister.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea who that is. He's another judge in Fulton County. He's in Superior Court.
Oh, okay.
You have an idea?
I do. I've gotten that before.
Have you? Yes. Every time on court, I always think you all look like you could be brothers, or at least cousins. Yes. Mhm.
Right.
Yes. He's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
He's like my little brother. Yes.
Yes.
We've worked together. Oh gosh. Well, before he became a judge, we worked together in both, Fulton County DAs, DeKalb County DAs, and the city of Atlanta, when the city of Atlanta used to have a traffic court.
Okay.
5 years ago. Yes. And his wife as well as a defense attorney. Do you know her?
I do.
She's a very good friend. Yes.
I do know her.
Yeah, she's a very good friend of mine as well. Yes.
All right, he's right here, already.
Are we waiting for that to print out? Okay. We're getting it, but it's been a little slow. So let me just start, Mr. Noel. Again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. Let's see, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. It's my understanding that you wish to proceed pro se today to plead guilty to pedestrian on a roadway. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Can you just give me your hands? Thank you. Mr. Reed, it's my understanding that you have been given the guilty plea forms, that you have filled out those forms, and that this is your signature on these forms. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No.
And do you wish to proceed pro se with this plea today?
Yes.
You've been charged by accusation 22 CR 002936B with pedestrian in the roadway. Do you wish to plead guilty to that charge?
Yeah.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and not by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
Do you understand that if you are on probation, that your probation could be revoked because of your guilty plea?
I'm not on probation.
Okay. And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, or that if you're not a United States citizen, that your immigration status could be affected by this plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you give this plea freely and voluntarily with full understanding of the charge against you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll accept your guilty plea, Mr. Noel. And as we said before, the sentence is going to be, he served 3 days. Is that correct, Ms. McCutcheon?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's going to be 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 3 days, the balance suspended, okay?
All right.
And Your Honor, I don't know if the state did inform the court, but the factual basis for the charge was that the defendant was at that Fulton County, Alpharetta, Georgia location at Encore Parkway and North Point Highway, walking up to vehicles. He was standing in the lanes of the roadway there, walking up to vehicles. The Alpharetta officer who first observed him instructed the defendant to get out of the roadway. The defendant complied and went onto the sidewalk. However, later the officer came back to that same area and observed the defendant again in the southbound lanes of that same highway.
And tell me where exactly again that is, Ms. McCutcheon,
The
just so
location-
that he knows.
Yes, Your Honor. That is the intersecting highways of Encore Parkway and North Point Highway in Alpharetta, Georgia.
So you understand, Mr. Noel, you can't go back there, okay?
Yeah,
You understand that?
yeah,
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
all right.
Anything further, Ms. McCutcheon?
No, Judge, that completes the state's
Hey.
business.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you getting this paperwork
Yes,
to
Judge.
us and to the jail.
Yes,
Okay.
Judge. I thought it was 1 day, and then when I saw it was 3 days, and so, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Very
So
good.
now I can go to the park.
All right. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
Your Honor.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Everyone else do also. Thank you, courtroom too. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Middlebrooks and courtroom and deputy sheriffs. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a great night.
You too.